The host admitted he'd be honored to get the SNL treatment and is still waiting for it to happen. Jeopardy! Host Ken Jennings has revealed the surprising Saturday Night Live star he'd choose to play him in a sketch, the U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal. Back when the beloved Alex Trebek helmed the trivia quiz show, the late host was famously played by Will Ferrell for the Celebrity Jeopardy! Sketch which aired from 1996 to 2002. Now that Ken, 50, has hosted the show since 2021 and made the role his own, some viewers think it's time for the former champion to get the SNL treatment. At a recent taping on the Sony Studios lot in Culver City, California, Ken was asked who he believes out of the current SNL cast should play him if they were to do an updated Jeopardy! Sketch. You know, that's a good question. Someone current? Well, the person who I genuinely think would have done the best job isn't there anymore. Kate McKinnon I think is brilliant and would have made it work. She's my choice and one of my favorite cast members of all time, he spilled. He then added, when I've been asked that question in the past, someone suggested actor/comedian Jack McBrayer. And I think he'd be a good fit too. He's hilarious, but Kate is the best. Really though, it'd just be honored to have SNL do any skit of me. So if that time ever comes, that will be a big moment. I'm waiting for it to happen. Kate, 41, became one of the biggest SNL stars in more modern seasons after she catapulted onto the scene in 2012 and became known for her celebrity impressions. After starring in a slew of movies and outside projects, Kate ultimately left SNL in 2022 and has gone on to star in various films since, including 2023's Barbie. Jack, 51, who is nearly the same exact age as Ken, made a name for himself as a star on 30 Rock from 2006 until its end in 2013. He also starred in Wreck-It Ralph, Despicable Me and currently hosts the HGTV show Zillow Gone Wild. Recently, Ken also shared his thoughts about rival Ryan Seacrest, 50, moving in next door and taking over the Wheel of Fortune stage. After staying mum publicly on his thoughts, a source claimed that he recently revealed his thoughts in between takes on the Jeopardy! Set. Ken talked about how he was able to go over and see Ryan and Vanna taping Wheel of Fortune recently, the insider said. As both shows are syndicated by the same team, they are filmed on side-by-side sound stages at Sony Studios in Culver City, California. Both Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy! Also share many of the same production crew members as they have alternating filming schedules. The source continued, Ken said he is rarely on the lot the same time that Wheel of Fortune tapes but was for one of the only times since he started the other day. Ken was sincerely blown away by how seamlessly Ryan has not just stepped into Pat's shoes but made it his own. At one point, he even joked that Ryan is a much better host than himself. He was very complimentary of Ryan. You can tell there is a lot of respect there and it was fun to see them work their magic next door. He was impressed by the show's production speed and routine. It includes a lot more moving parts to the set as Jeopardy! At a previous taping, the U.S. Sun reported that Ken wasn't losing sleep over Wheel of Fortune beating his show in the ratings as he was even cracking jokes off camera with the live audience. An insider told the U.S. Sun, after a recent taping, Ken asked the live audience if they enjoyed their time at the show, before asking if any of them wished they'd gone to see Wheel of Fortune instead. The crowd erupted in laughter and seemed to appreciate him making fun of the rivalry and not taking it so seriously. Ken is very humble, really kind to everyone on set, and eager to answer questions from guests. It seems the role hasn't gone to his head. There's no ego about him at all. Ken Jennings, the current host of Jeopardy! And one of the most beloved trivia minds in television history, recently made headlines when he was asked a fun hypothetical: if Saturday Night Live were to do a sketch about him, who would he want to play him? Fans might have expected Jennings to choose someone with a well-known history of celebrity impressions, perhaps a Bill Hader type with a knack for mimicry, or even a former cast member like Will Ferrell, whose exaggerated Alex Trebek impression remains one of SNL's most iconic. But in classic Ken Jennings fashion, he gave an answer that caught everyone off guard and immediately got people talking. Ken's choice: Bowen Yang? Cicely Strong? Nope, it's a wild card pick. During an interview on a podcast, Jennings was asked if he'd ever seen himself parodied and who he'd want to step into his shoes for a comedic take on his Jeopardy! Persona. Without hesitation, Jennings named Saturday Night Live cast member Mikey Day as his dream pick. "I think Mikey Day would nail it," Jennings said, laughing. "He's got that kind of wholesome yet sarcastic energy, which is exactly what I go for, at least, I hope that's what I go for." The response surprised many, not because Day isn't talented, he's a standout SNL performer with sharp comedic instincts, but because he isn't necessarily the first name that would come to mind when thinking of a Ken Jennings impression. Jennings doubled down on his choice, explaining, "Mikey is really good at playing guys who are just slightly overwhelmed but trying to keep it together. That's basically my whole job at Jeopardy!" Smiling while internally screaming, "Oh no, another daily double." Why Mikey Day? A perfect match for Jennings' persona. Fans who watch SNL know that Mikey Day shines in roles where he plays the straight man in absurd situations. His sketches often involve him reacting to increasingly ridiculous circumstances, whether he's playing a flustered parent, a befuddled contestant on The Bachelor, or an everyman dealing with SNL's signature brand of surreal comedy. That, according to Jennings, is why he thinks Day would be a perfect fit. Hosting Jeopardy! Is kind of like being in an SNL sketch sometimes. Contestants are hitting the buzzer too early, the audience gasps at unexpected moments, and sometimes you get an answer so bizarre you have to pretend it didn't just break your brain. Jennings even referenced a specific Jeopardy! Moment where a contestant once guessed that Michael Caine played the role of Nicki Minaj in a movie. "That's an SNL sketch waiting to happen," he joked. And Mikey would react perfectly. Fans react, a surprisingly spot-on pick? Once Jennings' comments made the rounds, fans had mixed, but mostly amused, reactions. Many agreed that Day, while unexpected, could bring an entertaining angle to a Jeopardy! Sketch. One fan tweeted, "Mikey Day playing Ken Jennings on SNL would be comedy gold. Just imagine him standing there, processing an insane answer, and quietly losing his mind." Another posted, "Ken Jennings picking Mikey Day instead of someone obvious like Bill Hader proves once again why he's the Jeopardy! GOAT. Always thinking outside the box." Others pointed out that SNL has been lacking a Jeopardy! Sketch since Will Ferrell's departure and that Mikey Day could finally bring a fresh take to the format. Mikey Day responds, "A sketch in the works?" As soon as Jennings' choice went viral, fans started tagging Mikey Day on social media, urging him to respond. A few days later, Day finally acknowledged the chatter, posting on Instagram. "Ken Jennings says he wants me to play him on SNL. I'll take things I didn't expect to wake up to for $200, Alex." Day also appeared on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon, where Fallon brought up the viral moment. "Ken Jennings says you should play him on SNL, how does that feel?" Fallon asked. Day laughed and responded, "That's a huge honor. I mean, I never thought of myself as Ken Jennings material, but hey, if Jeopardy! Needs a little chaos, I'm in." The response only fueled speculation that an SNL sketch could actually happen. Some eagle-eyed fans noticed that SNL writer Streeter Seidel liked Day's Instagram post, leading to theories that the show might already be considering a Jennings-inspired segment. What would an SNL Ken Jennings sketch look like? If SNL does follow through, fans have plenty of ideas for what the sketch could look like. Some popular suggestions include Ken's Worst Jeopardy! Nightmare, a scenario where contestants give the most ridiculous wrong answers imaginable, forcing Ken, played by Mikey Day, to keep a straight face. Think, what is a burrito? As the response to this is the capital of France. Celebrity Jeopardy! The New Era, a modern take on SNL's legendary Celebrity Jeopardy! Sketches, with Mikey Day's Ken Jennings dealing with clueless celebrities played by cast members like Bowen Yang and Chloe Fineman. The Jeopardy! Host auditions, a behind-the-scenes spoof on the search for Trebek's replacement, with Day's Jennings going up against other SNL stars pretending to be different candidates, perhaps a chaotic Steve Harvey, Kenan Thompson, or an overly intense Nicolas Cage, James Austin Johnson. A full-circle moment for Jeopardy! And SNL. A Saturday Night Live sketch about Jeopardy! Wouldn't just be hilarious, it would also bring things full circle. The game show has been a recurring source of comedy for SNL over the years, with the late Alex Trebek famously loving Will Ferrell's portrayal of him. If Mikey Day does take on the role, it would mark a new era of Jeopardy! Humor, with Ken Jennings getting the parody treatment he never expected. "I mean, if it happens, I'll be honored," Jennings said. "And if Mikey Day wants to borrow my blue Jeopardy! Blazer, I'll send it to him myself." Until then, fans will be waiting to see if SNL takes the hint. Will we see a Ken Jennings spoof soon? Only time will tell, but if Mikey Day gets the call, he'd better start practicing his "This is Jeopardy!" voice.